is only love. And we are here because of love, right? You walk into this place and you can just feel it. But now I'm just asking us all, if you can, to feel the autumn in the air. Do you know it's autumn? Does it feel like fall? I know if you were here for the meditation this morning, wasn't it interesting to kind of picture yourself in the fall colors, right? It's doable, but I know when I was thinking about it last night, I'm like, okay, this might be a stretch because we're in the desert, but we have this amazing imagination, right? We can do this. So autumn really is my favorite time of year. There's so much things going on outside because it's my birthday in the autumn. That has nothing to do with it, but but I love it because of the changing colors, the cooler weather. Not that I don't love summer and spring. I could talk about all of those seasons and know that there's something beautiful about every one of it, every one of them, because that's part of who we are too. We go through all these different changes. But I wanted to go through autumn, excuse me.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we don't need the music.
Oh, we don't need the music.
Thank you.
Cool.
While it's lovely,
I'm just doing
I
what
feel
Neighbor
like,
told me to.
oh, I feel like I'm gonna like meditate now.
Natalie's still working on letting go.
Okay.
All the notes.
Thank you so much, thank you. Okay, while it's autumn, I just felt like it was a beautiful time for us to examine that part of the season within us. Because we have gone through all of the season, we've gone through the summer, and I think we're all ready for the fall and autumn, are we not?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, we had our summer fun on the river, on the lakes and all that, but we can still do that here. But the idea of autumn just brings to mind so many things. And if you were here for the meditation this morning, it brings to mind the colors of the leaves that are falling, you know, the red, yellow, oranges. And I loved, as a kid, I know you probably did too, to walk on those crunchy leaves. When you were in that meditation, did you feel that? Wasn't that awesome? And just put yourself back and just kind of feel that and crunch them in your hands. You know, that's the beauty of fall. And yet, when the leaves are falling, all of those leaves on the ground and the leaves that we see falling, you know, if we look at them spiritually and metaphysically, there's great meaning to everything we see. It's a great time of release, letting go. What we've accumulated over the years, over time, not over the years, I mean over this past year, it's a great time now to take a look at what we have accumulated, what we have done, where we have been, and how aware we were through all of it. One of the biggest things that we are taught is to become more aware and mindful of our lives. Because many of us, we just go through, anybody know the word autopilot? Right? We do the same things over and over and over. In fact, um, our group yesterday, we talked about we are creatures of habit. And that's not a bad thing. There's no right or wrong to it. I mean, we were creatures of habit simply from the time we were born. We were taught how to do this, how to do that. And over the years, we begin to take on more and more and more things. But the interesting thing is, through all those things, we acquire habits. We don't even know why we do half of them. You ever thought about that? See, one of the things that I like to do in authentic living is to pick up things that are applicable to life and talk about it and have us look at these things that we normally wouldn't. Because habits, we all have so many habits. And not to say that any are good or bad or positive or negative. The question that we need to ask ourselves, are they serving us for our greater well-being? Or are they dragging us down? Now, some of these habits can create patterns in our life. And most of us, especially until, we come here to grow and learn more about who we are, the truth of who we are. And so it might be good to look at some of our habits and find out where we got them. And again, without judging, always be gentle with yourself, because we half of the time we don't even know where we got them. We just follow suit. It's like we remember watching a movie, Fiddler on the Roof. Anyone familiar with that? It was about tradition, tradition, tradition. Remember Topol keeps saying that? And he keeps singing about it. And he said, well, it's always been tradition. Why? I don't know why. I was so flabbergasted. I've seen it many times, but it hit me because that's where my thoughts were already. He said, I don't know why, but it's a tradition, right? It's a good thing to look at. What is that tradition? And what does it mean to me? Does it work for me? What are your beliefs? Do you still believe what you were taught? Even some of the little things. I was sharing how I watched my mother make rice, and she always made it to where the water was just this much above above the rice. And I did it for years, and the rice always turned out perfectly. But one day, years ago, I thought, how did she know? Well, why that much? When I learned is that if you make rice, the ratio is 2 to 1. 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, or whatever liquid you choose to use. So I tested it. And so I did that, and guess what? That much is 2 to 1 ratio. She probably, I think, knew that already or did it herself. But isn't that interesting that it's the same thing, but I didn't know why she did that, but it worked. That's just a little example. Test it out for yourself. Does it really work for you? Does it make sense? Aside from the fact that it's tradition. Whose tradition? And it takes courage to move beyond those conditions. Throughout this journey, we have so many questions. I think most of our journey is about questioning who we are, how we came to be. Basically, that's it. I know I was called to authentic living because I needed to find out who I was. Because we all move through life doing the right things, right? We go to church, we're kind to people, we do all of these wonderful things with our families, and there's, again, no right or wrong to it. But then there's some things that may not be in our best interest. It may have worked for someone else, but we need to check in with ourselves if that works or not. We live in an age now, and I maybe, we're talking back in the day before computers. Those of us who remember, I remember that one day we're going to have computers. Well, that day came. And it was scary at first, right? It was like, okay, what button do I push? And what's that sound? Those dial-up internet. What is that? Something's wrong with my computer, right? So we moved through that. Oh, and even before computers, we had calculators. Remember those calculators in the beginning that cost an arm and a leg, and now you can get them for $1, I think. But in the beginning, it was a big deal. But what was happening? All of those things are great. Now we have artificial intelligence. We don't even have to think if we don't want to. Gosh. And we may not even realize we're using it. And I say that because I didn't realize it until the other day. It's so funny when you're working on something, all these things hit you. Gee, look at that. Because I do a lot of research. And so I noticed that some of the research that was coming to me, AI, I'm like, what? And I'm not saying that's not a good thing, because let's remember, there's only one mind, the one mind. So, that information is everywhere present. It's how we grab it. The point I'm trying to make is, let's not forget who we are. That we have a great mind of our own. Yes, we have our human consciousness, ego, habits, and patterns. But much greater than that, we have our God-centered, infinite mind right here within us. We need to remember that. We forget. Sometimes it's like we get in a situation or we can't think, and if we get used to this habit. I remember working when I was in the corporate world, you're so used to using the calculator. And one day I was doing my work, and then a simple calculation came. And I'm like, what am I doing? I can do that in my head. But you see what I'm saying? We get so accustomed to doing things artificially or through somebody else's mind that we forget to use our own heart and our mind. We forget. So it's so important for us to tap into that part of us that is more powerful and magical than anything out there. Anyone disagree with that? We just forget. And you know what? That's okay. We forget. I mean, sometimes we can get into situations, as I mentioned earlier, and then we go through all this drama maybe, and what should I do? And all of a sudden it'll hit you. Oh, well, gosh, I could have prayed. Anybody ever done that? Like, gee, God's always here. The universe is always ready to support us. But see, we're so used to getting in the way because we know how to do stuff. Right? We have this intuition that sometimes we don't want to listen to. Anybody have that? Oh, good, I'm not alone. Because sometimes I'll go, no, I know a good way. And always, 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 the other way that I heard, that I felt, was the way to go. See, but we have to train ourselves. Whatever happens out in our world, we have to first train or change our consciousness. That's where it all begins. Our consciousness. We have to, and I know we can get wrapped up in all the stuff out there. It's all energy. So if we're surrounded by all of this energy and we're not paying attention, we can get caught right up in it. That's kind of a natural part of our humanness. Now, I don't want us to belittle it. I don't want us to deny it. I want us to embrace all that we are, and yet know that there is more than that. We are more than that. We can stand up for ourselves. And that takes courage. Because we are all, has anyone here not ever been told what he or she should do with this or that? Right? Well, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. That's why even in our wealth of friends and family, well-meaning people who love us and care for us. And I'm not saying never listen to their sage advice, because some people have experienced many, many things. And so they do have some wisdom. However, there are also those of us who we've all experienced things a different way. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different cultures. We all have different religious upbringing. Our environment has been different. And we can sit there and judge all day long. But if we choose to change our consciousness and look, we can see the truth behind what we can't see. Different cultures, for instance, have a different way of being. And believe me, I had to learn this too. It's like, wow, you know, what may appear to be rudeness is not rudeness in some cultures, because maybe they're so crowded. Everybody has to find a space to move. We have more space to move. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And everybody has a different sensibility. You know, some of us grew up with a lot of freedom. Pretty much can do whatever we want. Some of us were raised with a lot of limitations. Think about that. And so how are we doing with all of those things we were brought up? Little by little, we're learning to move beyond that because we're changing our consciousness. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fact that I thought I could do something different. But we have to be able to step out, because the way I grew up, I had so many things going against me. Being a woman, I shouldn't be standing up here. I shouldn't be doing a lot of things. And maybe I'm a bit of a rebel. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes. But you hear what I'm saying? We got to turn over that leaf and create something new. This is the autumn season. All of us, is from the reading, we are here to shine our light. We are here to create something new. We are here to live life. We're here to live. We're here to dance, right? There you go. We're here to dance. And you know what? Along the way, when we feel like we're making a mistake, there are no mistakes, by the way. It's just a progressive thing. What I like to say is when we feel like we're making a mistake, make it a part of your dance. Like, oh, oops, keep going, right? Make it a part of your dance. It's all okay. There is not a person here that hasn't felt whatever the feelings are. In fact, I know that there's no coincidence that this group is here together. And actually, when we start talking to people, we will see and feel how fundamentally the same we are, and how much similarities of the things we have gone through. So I want us to, while we're moving through the autumn season, to release those things that no longer serve us with love and compassion for yourself. You know how we try to support our friends and we say, it's okay, honey, it'll be okay. What do we say to ourselves? It's okay. You're going to be okay. And there are people here to support you. You are never alone. We are never alone. And I know we've all felt that. When I first started taking classes, I felt I was the weirdest person in the world because I had all these issues and I never wanted to raise my hand to make a comment because everyone will think, well, look at her. Well, she's strange. And then other people started talking. I'm like, I'm among strange people. That's so cool. I'm at home. Yes, yes. But see what I'm talking about? Oh, I got chills with that one because that's the truth of our oneness. All of us have gone through stuff and we're here to help each other grow. And so part of that growth is allowing new growth. But sometimes we need to let go of the old stuff to allow the new stuff to grow, to come in. Because when we hang on to the old stuff, whatever that stuff is, and when I say release it, I'm asking us to release it in love. Because when we don't do that, we're harboring it, we're holding on to it. And the new stuff won't grow on that kind of energy. Does that make sense? So I know it can take time. I mean, sometimes we have to obsess about something for a while. Gosh, I know that one. Some things take a little longer. But when we keep at it, we keep our spiritual practice going consistently, however you do it. Just make sure that we are communicating. Talk to yourself. Communicate with the God within you. Talk out loud. Don't worry about who's watching. You know, I talk to myself in the car. I don't care who's watching. You know, I can talk to myself. Are you talking to me? No, I'm talking to God. But it's okay. See, find a way to love yourself. See, we have to learn to love ourselves a little more. Like we would love a little puppy or a little kitty. That's what we need to do for ourselves. Why? Because we're worth it. And with autumn, I call this like a rebirth. Because we're being reborn all the time. Story, it's kind of a cute story. I had a friend who has made her transition back a few years ago, but we were in practitioner classes together many years ago. And she gave me a gift that she made out of clay or whatever, and it was a little angel, but she was pregnant. A pregnant angel. No, I was not pregnant. I'm like, thank you. You know, okay. And she said, let me explain it. She said, I think of you this way because you are always creating something. You are always giving birth to something new. So to her, it was very spiritual, metaphysical, symbolic. And she thought I was an angel. Go figure. But see what I'm talking about? And sometimes, you know, we think we're certain things. People really see who you are. And that's the beautiful thing. I know every time we come here, I just feel so uplifted. All of you, it's just amazing to see all of you. New faces, faces I've seen before. I just feel the love. And that supports me when I'm up here. Does that make sense? When you're up here, you can feel it. Anybody who's been up, you could feel that. See, and that's what we're here to do for each other. Because even though I'm standing up here speaking, it isn't just about me. It's about all of us. And I know that. I wasn't sent here to be, okay, you're the one that's going to take care of everything. That's too much responsibility. You know what I'm saying? We're here for each other. So I want us to remember who we are, what we are capable of, and how we can move forward. You know, start paying attention and being mindful, like, of our thoughts. Our thoughts, as you know, are so important. I had to pray again last night to help me watch my thoughts. Because every now and then, you know how it goes. You're lying in bed or you're going to sleep and all of a sudden, what's that? I don't want to think that. Maybe something you saw somewhere on TV or in whatever. We all do it. We all have these little habits. And I'm not here to tell you I'm perfect. I'm not. Because the truth is, what I do, I teach what I myself need to learn. That's what we all do. I was called to authentic living because I didn't even know who I was. And the God within me said, okay, here you go. You're going to do this because you need to know who you are. And you're going to learn together because I learn so much from everyone that I speak to. And that is the truth. I learn a lot from everyone. So I want us again to remember who we are, that we are magnificent. Remember to use our higher mind, our higher consciousness. I'm not saying ignore AI because it can be helpful. Ignore the computer, ignore social media. I say do everything in moderation where you can. You know, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. That's another reason why I'm here. I was told in my religion all the things I could and couldn't do. Whoa, I will never do that to you. Not that even that I could. I have a lot of strong, powerful people here that I'm like, really? So did you understand what I was trying to convey today? Turn over a new leaf. Some things that we're doing right now are probably just fine. But maybe there's an area here or there that we could tweak a little, maybe either change the habit, replace it with something else, or add something to it. Because I know one of the things, and I'll briefly share with you too, that I shared yesterday with the habit. When I'm working, and I hadn't done this in years, but I noticed the last couple of weeks I started doing it, I'll be working on my computer preparing, and all of a sudden I have to get up and get a snack. And I justified it by saying, it's brain food. It's brain food. So I observed myself and I noticed it and I thought, I used to do that years ago and I stopped doing it. Why did I do that again? So, and I got a little piece of muffin, and we usually don't have sugar in the house, but if you've ever been to Perkins, they have these amazing big muffins. And I don't know, I said, okay, put one, I'll take it home. Put one in a bag. Sat there for a few days, but anyway. So I may not change that habit. I mean, the saying it's brain food, maybe, but maybe I'll have a healthy snack instead. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like sometimes we don't necessarily have to get rid of it, release it. Sometimes we just need to tweak it a little bit. You know, like snacking right before you go to bed. If I do that, I'd probably be in trouble. I wouldn't sleep good. But you understand what I'm saying. So this is not about judgment. This is not about what's right or wrong. It's, does it have a positive effect on you? Does it make you feel good? Or is it not, does it not make you feel good? So I don't want us to go into good or bad. Okay? Okay, let me just close up now. Let's do just a short meditation and prayer just to kind of sum all this up, to absorb it into our consciousness, and just to know that right where we are, God is. And right where we are, everything that we are, do, feel, is in absolute divine order. Change is constantly happening. We are growing into the truth of who we are every moment. For we have set an intention to be present, fully present, as authentic and alive. There is only love. There is only love. We love ourselves to the degree that has no bounds. For it is within that space that we can have a greater love for all people, places, and things. For we are truly one. We have a connection. We are connected. And we raise each other up in this magnificent consciousness we call divine life. We continue to grow. We continue to turn the leaf over and over, to continue to evolve into that which we already are. There is nothing about us that is not divine. We trust and have faith in our magnificence, in our greatness, our beauty, knowing that we are always supported by a most powerful universe. Spirit is always present. God is always present. So I just invite you to say to yourself, I am divine. Anything is possible. I am worthy. I am supported. I am love. So as we have raised our frequency, our vibration, our consciousness, I know that we will move throughout the day with our heart full of love and life, knowing that we are the light, and we allow ourselves to be that light as we move through this day and every day, meeting all the people we will meet, knowing that they are too a part of who we are. So we send them love, light. We send them inspiration. So in this magnificent energy and vibration, I allow these words to simply be released into the universe knowing that they are manifesting right here and right now in magnificent form. And so it is. Amen. Blessings to you all.